We're going to use a program called Tinkercad to create your 3D digital design of your roller coaster. So this video is going to show you how you're going to use Tinkercad. First thing you need to do is create an account. So you're going to do Join Now. I'm doing Sign In because I have an account. You're going to see the same thing. When you join, you're going to see this screen. If you come over here, it says Sign In using social providers. If you click on that, you'll see the Google sign in, so it can take your Google account. Pick your school account if you have more than one. And when you sign in, you will be at a dashboard. You can just close this down because I'm going to show you some of the things that it's going to show you in that. Okay, so you're going to start. This is your dashboard. You don't have any designs yet, so that's why it is blank. You're going to start by creating a new design. Now, one person in the group will do this. The sharing feature may not work, but we can try. But one person is going to do this, and you'll be creating one design on this one account. Okay, so when we're working in Tinkercad, it deals with 3D objects. So this is called the work plane. Think of this as a table. Okay, we're putting things on top of it. The way we move around is over here. If we adjust, if we click and drag, this is how we check. So this is how we can see something level. And as we want to check the angles, we're going to move this around. So this will make more sense when we put a shape in here. So now there's two things we can do to make our roller coaster. If you look here, basic shapes, and there's a pull down menu. There's some all different things you can do, but we're going to go with basic shapes. And we have shapes here, and if you scroll, you'll see them. There's two things we're going to do. We're going to do this using the box or the scribble. So first I'm going to demonstrate box. So if you click on this object and drag it over onto your workspace and drop it. Okay, now you have a 3D object. That's why you have all of these different arrows that change. Okay, and again, if I move on my plane, this is how I can see it. Right now that's level. And so I'm going to put it here. You can zoom in if you need to with the plus and the minus. So let's zoom in a little bit. So what you can do is you can actually make a track out of this box. So if you click on it and you kind of pull it to be, let's say, this size, okay, and I will make it approximately this width, maybe a little skinnier. Okay, right now, if I adjust and you look, it's high. I want this to be a track, so I want it to be a low box. Okay, so this little cone right here, and you can see it changes, I'm highlighting on it, controls the height. So does this. Okay, so if you click on that, so you see it change, and now click and drag down, that's moving it up and down. Okay, so now if I move it down and I move this, you'll see that half of it's underneath the plane. It's not settling on the ground, right? So I'm going to move it back up so that it is level on the ground, okay? And when you click on it, this button, see when I click on that, you get the arrow over here. That's telling you the height. So if you click and drag, it's flattening it. So I'll flatten it a little bit. And again, I can't tell. I'm going to click off of it. I can't tell if that's too high or not. I'm going to kind of adjust and look. That's not bad for a track, so I'm going to keep it at that height. Now you can take tracks and make a bunch of tracks out of these shapes. So you can take them and duplicate them, which is up here. So click on the shape that you want. You can flip them. Okay, you can do a Control C, or up here is where you can copy. Okay. This is duplicate, so if you want the same exact track, okay, it placed it on top. You couldn't see it, but it's there. So when you hit duplicate, it automatically duplicates it, but right on top. So you can take tracks, put them together, and create a track. There are some curves here. So when it gets to the curves, you can use this shape. Okay, and there are other shapes here that could help. They all work the same with the leveling up and down and the height. I'm going to close this box so it gets out of the way. Now, if you have two shapes and you want to move them together, so I'm going to zoom back out. This is my workspace. So this is the ground where your roller coaster is going to sit on. If I want to move it here and I want to move them together, if I click on both of them, okay, or you can click, hold your Shift key and click on that one, or you can take your cursor and just kind of draw out a box, and now it highlighted both of them. Now this shape becomes active. It says group. So if you group them, now it's like one piece and you can move them together. It's the same grouping feature that's in Google Docs and other programs. The other way that you can do this, it might be easier, is with this Scribble. So Scribble is a free form, draw out a shape. So if you click on Scribble, it's going to bring you into another screen. I'm going to click and drag and drop it. And now it changed. Now that other plane is still there, but now it's giving you sort of the view from like if you're looking from a ceiling down. So now you have your cursor as this dot. You can draw out whatever you want. So now to draw a loop, let's say I'm going to draw like this. You kind of hold your mouse pad down, click, and draw around. Okay, and now you see the 3D version of it. All right? If this is good, you hit done. And it puts it into your workspace. I'm going to zoom out. You can see the other one is still there. Okay, now if you look around like that, it's flat. I want it to pick it up and angle it on its side so that this is the bottom. So you'll see all sorts of other arrows. Okay, we can pick it up first and then make it narrower, or whichever works for you. So let's click on this and see how we have a different scale come up. If we just kind of click and drag, that rotates it that way. Okay, and if I can't quite get it back the way I want, I'll undo to start it over. This one is going to click it that way as well, back and forth. This one is going to raise it off the ground. Okay, so if I put it up there and I look, you'll see it's not flat anymore. This one is going to help with the height. If I want to, or scrunch it up, so see how I'm making the loop longer, wider, or smaller. I'm just going to go back to start at the one that I started with. And if you look and you kind of angle it this way, now you can see all the different rotations. So this one is horizontal or vertical, so that's how I'm going to get it to pick it up. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to start turning this way. See how it's coming? Okay, I'm going to let go there. Now it's floating. That's a shadow. It's showing me that it's floating in the air. So if I go back, I'll look. And now I can click on it and use this little arrow up and down to bring it down to the ground. This number, when it's at 0, it's on the ground. So the lowest part, so we'll do that, and I'll show you by zooming in. Okay, so the first part to hit the ground, okay, is on the ground now. So you can see compared to the red that we are flat, and you have to kind of keep moving this cube around to see. Now, if I want to look from the top, I'm going to zoom back out. Remember how I made this one more narrow? So if I want to do that, I will click here, and I have to find the one that will make it narrower. There we go. And then I'm going to kind of move here. Now, let's say I want to use this for the straight pieces, and I want to move this and put it here. The loop is coming next. So I'll bring this over here. And I kind of realize that this might be way too big, so I'm going to click on the red. I'm going to adjust this a little bit so I can see better. So it's going to be a lot of adjusting with this cube to kind of get the angle and to see everything that you want. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to make it a little skinnier and smaller. Then I need to click on this one, click and drag, and I'm going to zoom in so I can see better. Now if you click here and kind of this way with 2 fingers on the trackpad, you can zoom in and out. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You can also use this. Okay, so now this is wider than this, right? And if it's easier to do it from the top and look at it, there we go. I'm going to click on here, and I want to make this match up with the red. You can also always click on the red and look in the shape box. Okay, if you ungroup it, it'll show you what size or what width this is. So it's 20. So now we can go to this one, and you can create the height and the width that you want to make it match. So it looks like it matches pretty good. I need to see if it's level on the ground. Now don't get crazy about it all being level. Okay, we're going to do the best we can with that. Okay. You can change the colors. You'll see solid. So if we want the whole track to be red, so it all matches, now we're red. Okay, I have 3 pieces. I can move them individually. I can group them. Okay, you can continue with the scribble. I think scribble is probably easier. The only thing is you're going to have to pick it up so that it's vertical instead of lying flat, and you can create the rest of your track. It's also easier for making inclines, because if you want to make one of these pieces, I'm going to take it for a minute and move it over here, and I'm going to go flat so you can see what I mean. I'll zoom in to get out of the way of that. Okay, so if you use this and you just want it to be like an incline, okay, but you only want one side of it to go up, it's not as easy as drawing with the scribble. So if we click on it, we have to find the right handle. Kind of shows there. Okay, and now you can, that's going to rotate it around. So actually you need to kind of look here because it's harder to, I'm going to angle that way. Here's the arrow I'm looking for. Okay, so this is the one that I need to raise just part of it. And now I tilted it the wrong way, so I'm going to click there to get it back. Okay, now again, if you click, this is the one it's showing you, it'll rotate on the floor. This one is showing you it'll raise up. This one is showing you this way for the width. So I actually want this one. And I want to just bring up the one side. Okay, so I'm going to click on that again so you can see. And let's see if we can just raise from this one. Oh, that's going to make it bigger. Okay, so I'm going to use that other handle. Still making it bigger. I'm going to click here. Okay, and there we go. Whoop. So it's a little difficult to get exactly where you want. Now that you have that, you can click, and now you're kind of changing the angle. There we go. Okay, so see how this is now on an incline? It's going up, and actually part of it is below the plane, the ground, so move it up. Okay, so you can keep showing your incline, or you can do scribble. Click and drag it over. I'm going to close this box just to get it out of the way. Okay, so think of this as if you're drawing it out on paper, and then you're going to kind of pick it up and put it on its side. So let's say we're going to start out this way and then an incline. Wasn't too straight, so I'm actually going to erase it and go back and do it over. I forgot some parts there. All right, now you got to put it back on the pencil. Okay, I'm going to start, and I'm going to go up. Okay, when I'm done, click done. It puts it into my project. Now I got an extra one in there I didn't want, so I could just click on it. Click off the workspace. Click here. I put it into the same as part of it. Okay, so I need to edit this scribble. I need to go back and erase this one. I'm going to click here and just erase it. And now it's gone. Okay. Now I need to adjust the height. I need to check on these arrows, which one will bring it where I want. I think it's this one. Click, and there we go. It's turning it on its side. And now you can see I have an incline. Okay, and then you can start attaching all of these pieces. I'll zoom out. Okay, and maybe this is now going to go here. Okay, so this is how you're going to continue to build. When you are done with the track, you can decorate, you can make things flat, you could put grass, you can make put a theme. So if you want to use the shapes to create anything else that would be going around this roller coaster as your theme, you're welcome to. If you do create something like this where you have an incline, you have to put what's holding it up. Okay, so you have to either, if it's going to be round or square, let's say it's going to be a cylinder, click here. And you need to create the stand for it. So we'll close it smaller, go here, and see if this is high enough. Check on our plane. It's not under there, so I got to move it actually over. Okay, and you'll see that none of it is aligned, so I'm going to move this one to meet this track. And it looks like I have to make it a little wider. Okay, and now I'm going to click on my support beam and bring it under there. Now you can see that it's on top. So things can overlap. So now it's too high, right? And actually this needs to be raised up because it's not level with the ground. So I'm going to click on this to raise it up. Okay, now it's attaching here. I'm going to change and look here. It's right under it. Okay, so now I actually have to make it larger. So I will extend it. That looks good. I'll check my angle. Okay, so now you have a support. So if that kept going up, you need to make another support. Okay, so you have to think of this as like a 3D virtual world. Okay, and this is how you would make between the shapes and the scribble, okay, how you're going to make the things with different angles and loops and so forth. Okay, you have to name it because it gives it a silly name. So I'm going to call this one my roller coaster. And if you hit enter, it'll take you out and keep the name. Okay, when we are done, we're going to end up downloading it. Okay, so we're going to click send to, and you're going to download a picture of your design. Okay, it will put it into your Google Drive, and then from there I'll show you how you're going to attach it to send it to me. Okay, so play around with it. It's going to take some time to get used to, okay, but you'll like it when you do. It's a little different than other programs. Might be your first time working in a 3D environment, but it's going to take some practice, but you'll get it.